Good evening and welcome to another edition of the HGP Sportscast. I am Stanford Howard with your Wednesday 12th February news stories. In rugby, Ryan Day is the new president of the Guyana Rugby Football Union, and according to him, he is ready to expand the sport throughout Guyana. Hear more in this report. Last weekend, the position for presidency for the Rugby Football Union was up for grabs at the annual general meeting, where Ryan Day went toe-to-toe with Earl Edgill. Day, who hails from Linden, last represented Guyana at the international rugby level in 2018 at a Rand 7 in Barbados, spoke to HGP Sport over the phone on some of his plans for the union and issues that needs to be addressed in order to put the sport discipline on the right track during his tenure.
We have some basic areas we want to look at. Mainly, we want to start playing more local rugby. Also, we'll be trying to centralize the sport of rugby, taking it to other regions and having maybe coaching sessions so we can have other parts of the country also playing rugby. And we have a deep interest in youth and female rugby as well. That's the main focus for my tenure.
They then spoke on matters which pertaining to the National Sports Commission's promise of a home for rugby in Guyana.
National Sports Commission promised us a ground, but they sort of kind of reneged on the whole deal. So I guess we'll be taking it up again with them, because indeed, if we have a place of our own, we can host tournaments. He was telling me there was in one case where we bid for a 19 tournament to come to Guyana, but we don't have a ground of our own, and then the ground that we use, which is in National Park, is in a horrible state, a global state that cannot play any rugby there. So, I mean, that has been a major problem for the last 4 years.
The new elected president is adamant that in order for the sport of rugby to grow in Guyana, it must start from the grassroots level.
That's how we had this major crop of people such as Claudius Butts, Ryan Gonzalez, Kevin McKenzie, Richard Stackland. They all started playing rugby at the school level. So our thing is, if we start back from the ground, and not only in Georgetown, as I said before, we're going to plan to decentralize the sport so we can have a wider crop of players coming out, so we can supersede what the TOs did, what the Bud did. We can supersede the level that we were at.
Currently, the Georgetown district is the only area where rugby is being played. With the annual general meeting completed, they will have a serving alongside him Senior Vice President Joshua Griffith, Junior Vice President Kevin David, Secretary Terence Grant, Treasurer Kwesi Brummel, and Michael Whitehead, committee member, along with other members. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard. As this year's Magnum Tonic Wine Futsal Championships moves down to the business end of things, teams are going through the paces as Saturday's semi-finals quickly approaches. Ben Street, a former champion, Leopold Street, Rio All-Stars, and Kingston are the semi-finalists, with a chance of claiming the championship this year. Here are some of the reactions from the respective captains going into a must-win Saturday.
I know earlier in the tournament, Mr. Lambert, you were a bit scrappy, I would say. But I think the quarterfinals was a real demolition attempt, I would say, I would call it that, based on how the guys were played, the passes, the fitness, the energy. It's as if Rio was awakened, and they look very dangerous. I know your team is poised with a number of national players. What is the difference in your approach from previous games?
Like I just say again, we really want to look back too much of lament on the past, because the past wasn't really none too good for us. Eventually we coming out as one of the best our team plays in our group, and we're there in the semi-final now. This just to show what a good team we are. So coming forward from the semi-final, going forward, well, you know, you could look forward to some really good football from Rio team again, I'm telling you. So ain't nothing much on me, just come out and look for some real exciting football from Rio, and we're looking forward to go all the way and pick up 2020 tournament.
Yeah, what you think has led to your team being so dominant this year? I know after you won the first Magnum Mash Cup title, you kind of fell off the radar in terms of winning other tournaments and so on. But you've regained some momentum recently. You're looking very strong, very difficult to beat. What do you think has led to that stage now? That you're no longer with Mr. Lambert, who's now with Rio?
Well, what can I say? Is that my team consists of some seasonal players, and leading up to this tournament, we have all been preparing all the time because most of our players are in the national team. And we always prepare because the national team have a continuous program and all the players are fit. So when it comes to game time, it's easy because the chemistry is already there within the team, and we don't go out underestimating nobody. We just go out and play football to our best ability. When we 5 up, 4 up, then we could skin with it and play around. But other than that, it's strictly business.
The semi-final is built for the National Gymnasium, and the first whistle will be blown at 1900 hours. In football news, as the Guyana contingent competing in the men's under-20 CONCACAF Championships gears up for departure to Nicaragua, Coach Wayne Wiggy Dover is pleased with the team's preparations, and Anthony Belfield is the new assistant coach. Jaden Samuels has the details.
Preparation time is up, and the local under-20 side now awaits the first whistle in this year's CONCACAF Championship, which will be against Montserrat starting this Saturday. Part of the side have already landed in the host country with the staff, and remaining players scheduled to depart on Thursday. Head coach Wayne Wiggy Dover summing up the 4 training matches, 3 against the Guyana-based senior men's national team and 1 against Rivers View Football Club from Region 7, said the team was exposed to the senior side, giving them a taste of what's to come when the action kicks off at the weekend. Meanwhile, developmental coach and national midfielder Anthony Belfield has been assigned as assistant coach following a motorcycle accident involving coach Calvin Allen. After playing their opening game against Montserrat this Saturday, on February 17, the locals will tackle St. Vincent and the Grenadines, while the third match will see them coming up against the U.S. Virgin Islands on February 21, and the team will play host Nicaragua on February 23. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport.
In boxing, Caribbean bantamweight champion Kevin Alcock defeat Victor Diabru 3-0. Middleweight Desmond Amsterdam lost a close points decision to Jorge Kula. And light heavyweight Dennis Thomas' match against Lazaro Fizz was stopped in the second round by coach Francisco Ronaldo after Thomas hurt his hand. The tournament was held last week in the Saints province. Lightweight Colin Lewis did not compete as he was battling a bout of influenza. The 4 boxers are ongoing a 3-month training stint in Cuba, made possible by the government of Guyana and the GOA. Coach Francisco Ronaldo said he was pleased with the performance of the boxers and declared that all will be ready for the Olympic qualifiers next month. The boxers are expected to participate in another tournament next week. And finally, as the King Meadows and Pansy Adonis Foundation seeks sponsorship for its athletes to participate in the New Balance National Indoor Championship, the coach attached to the organization is reminding that coaches need to go above and beyond the call of duty. Samuel Gillis with the details.
Junior Cornet, coach of the Titans Athletic Club on the east bank of the Marara, is highlighting the multifaceted and comprehensive role coaches play in the various sport disciplines. He opined that just setting a program and having children run around is not all that is involved in coaching.
Out there, you're a coach, you're a father, you're a brother, you're an uncle. The responsibility of the students or athlete out there is solely yours. If anything should happen to any child in your ear, it is your responsibility. So we need to understand that when we take up the role as coach, it's not just to sit down and look and see an athlete run, but it's to ensure the wrongness of that athlete.
Cornett, who has over 15 years' experience, went on to express that the athletes in the care of coaches should be able to receive guidance and resources to propel them in non-athletic areas of their lives.
And if results are not in tune with your athletics, I call parents, we sit down, we talk about it. And if it's if there's a decision to be made where you take some time off, get your grades up, and then you come back to training. So these are some of the aspects that I institute into my club along with my parents. And I really do not allow any child to come and join the club without their parents being there.
Also speaking with the Nightly News was Dickwan Williams, who operates under the watchful eyes of Coach Cornett. He achieved a diploma in business management from the business school and is also one of the KMPA's athletes seeking sponsorship. Williams spoke of the nexus between athletics and academics.
Well, I would encourage you to, athletics is good, right? But it's nothing without education. So you should focus, you should have a balance, know how to balance them, athletics and your education. And in the athletics, you need to put in a lot of training in order to put out the good work. If you're in training good, you can't get good works.
Anyone seeking to support the club by purchasing sport gear for any of the athletes to participate in the New Balance National Indoor Championship can call 698-6907. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Thank you, Samuel. That concludes the sportscast for the Wednesday edition. I am Stanford Howard, reminding you that only way to prove you are a good sport is to lose. Over to you, Colwyn. Goodbye.